13%. It seems that we will compensate the losses for next coming months. We will continue to compensate the losses, and the first month of the year, January, with 12.7% additional, also supporting this expectation. Looking to the source of imported scrap, basically we are importing from the European Union with 14 million ton. European Union has the biggest portion, then United States, CIS countries, and others following the European Union. But if you look to the country base, the picture, by regions, that is the value-based figures. It's around $6 billion. This was $9 billion more than 10 years ago, and there has been big sensitivity, but it seems that scrap prices is not gaining big increase in prices. So I hope it will be stable. Even there are some fluctuations last year, particularly during the last quarter, there has been strong fluctuation, but basically it's more stable in comparison to the old years. Yes.
170,000 tons. If we look at the first, say, 85 days of 2021, we see quite a huge drop on the export of hot rolled coils. It was 680,000 tons within the same period of last year, which came down to 370,000 tons. So we have almost 45% of a drop this year compared to the previous one. On the cold rolled, in contrary, the exports have tripled. So it went from 50,000 to 150,000 tons. For the coated material, which is more or less the same, we have shipped about 350,000 tons in the first 85 days by 23rd of March. So if you look at the numbers, last year we have shipped more or less 250,000 a month, but this year this number came down to 140,000 tons. So if we annualize this, Turkey will be shipping somewhere around 1.5 to 2 million tons of hot rolled coils in 2021, which was 3 million last year, and it was almost 3.7, close to 4 million tons a year before. So there is a huge drop on the export of Turkey on the hot rolled coils. Two reasons. Again, we have issues, as I said, on our big two market, US and Europe, but more important, we have more consumption on the local market, so we are trying to serve our local clients as much as possible.
Always was flat products, 15.7 million metric tons, and long products was about 13.8 million tons, and the change compared to previous year was 27.5% on flat on the long side, and 3.4% on flat side. We talk about exports. Turkey's number one export group or category was long products, and Turkey exported like 10.3 million metric tons of long products compared to 10.5 million metric tons in 2019, which is about minus 2.3%. Flats, there were about 5.7% exported in the year 2020 compared to 5.7 million metric tons in 2019, more or less the same. It's like 15 million metric tons, 15,000 tons of less than the previous year. Then tubes and pipes, semis and fasteners and others in the total is 20.3 million metric tons exported.
All should have a broader perspective. My opinion is that this perception of the timeline you see on the page this perception of the timeline by the Turkish bureaucracy, by the Turkish players, transcends the tension in one particular product group. With this timeline, the Turkish bureaucracy, Turkish players feel neglected, they feel unfairly treated, and they are unable to find counterparties who are looking for a solution on the European side. And this tension, mainly coming from one product group, I'm afraid, threatens all the seamless and delicate supply chain and trade collaborations we have built together with the European Union in decades. I believe we all see what protectionism is doing to industries. As an example, we can look at the United States. There are even industries right now where $5 per metric ton makes a difference on the cost structure. After Section 232, now if you look at the price in the United States, they are $500 per metric ton higher than the rest of the world. As Uğur Bey mentioned, if it was 2008, we would have seen maybe tens of hundreds of facilities opening their, reopening. But still the fear of 2008, the fear of collapse, I believe, postpones the supply to come back. So for sure there will be a correction, but will it be in the third quarter, will it be in the fourth quarter, I do not know. But when we compare with 2008, one of the biggest differences with 2008 is if you pay the money in 2008, you can get the material. Right now, even if you pay the money, you cannot get the material for a very long period of time. The supply chain delivery times are getting very long.
That was where the huge drop was. The construction industry have completely stopped in the second half of 2019 when we had the currency issue. In 2018, we have consumed almost close to 10 million tons of rebars alone in Turkey, which is higher even than the consumption in the US. But that came to almost half a year after. So whatever we did in 2020 compared to 2019 was plus.
What happened in the year 2020, last quarter, particularly in December, the import of steel decreased very sharply, around 30%. And artificially, Turkish flat steel producers tried to satisfy domestic demand because our users couldn't find enough material from the international market because particularly during the last quarter, all users came to the market. Europeans didn't want to export, and this is valid for other markets also. And there has been lack of material in Turkish market, in other markets,